What's up everyone, this is ScherBR talking, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're gonna make a full review for the Lunar New Year Macha banner. We have Macha, that's a healer with some type of support, Balmaint, a farmer with column damage in AoE, and Leonard, a farmer with roll in AoE. Yeah, this is the banner. We have Macha as the most interesting character, with Balmaint and Leonard being useful, but maybe not as much as he could have been. We start talking about Macha, and we have three different versions of Macha in the game. One is a NES given out during the events, and let's have some fun. Was a new DX exclusive. Now we have Spiritual's Gather. When comparing the status of then, we have the same amount of endurance. Similar STR and Dexterity, we don't care much about the status. And then she lost some agility, went down from 100 to 84, and also a little less intelligence, with a bigger will, and much higher love. That kind of explains the character already. We need better will, because she's a full healer now. We need better love, but we don't need that much agility. Well, depends. Sometimes you want to cast a heal before the enemy attacks, sometimes you don't. The agility lost a little here. Now, this character has arrows for will and love. That's good because she focuses on those two. And bonuses goes for intelligence as well. That's good because she also needs to attack, and well, to land the attacks, we need a combination of both agility and intelligence. Agility already suffers a little. As for passives, we have Macha's Brilliance. On the start of a turn, she has a 37% chance to buff all surviving allies' intelligence by 10% and recover HP by a very small effect. That should be around 180s on average. That's good because 37% chance is the biggest one we have right now in the game. The intelligence buff is not that important because it's unreliable and it will depend on the situations and formations you are bringing, and if you have other mages or the buffers, it can help, but well, it's not enough to make a difference. The second passive is called Celestial Wisdom. When recovery actions are made, that is using Earth Heal, her second spell, she will recover 1 BP to herself and also recover medium HP. That should be around 1000, and apply two different effects. An attack and defense boost of large effect that lasts for 3 turns. Large is 30%. That's nice because it also combos well with high protect tension. That increases her damage output by 20, and when attacked she will receive 30% less damage. So you have 30, then 30 again for damage resistance, and then 20 plus 30 for the attack. But that is only after you cast a heal spell, and you should be using because it's actually part of her gameplay. Now, for our skills, we have Rock Fire, a 0 BP spell that has E-power that's pretty similar to a normal attack, but it carries heat and blunt. Nice, and she won't ever need to use a normal attack. That's why she does not care about STR or Dexterity. The bonk attack that mage uses those two for accuracy. Now she does not need anymore, and Rock Fire also recovers 1 BP. They made this because of her third skill, so we'll talk more about this, but it's very nice. The second spell is Earth Heal. This time it's an Earth spell. She needs double element staves and recovers deep power. That's not that big, but it should be enough to heal someone for 1.4k, I guess, max level. And it also cleanses the target. That's pretty cool because in boss fights sometimes something very bad happens and you need emergency cleans. And then she also recovers 1 BP when she casts. That means that, well, she gets 3 BP per turn. We'll just return to the same values on the next turn. Now, the third skill is called Divinity. For 8 BP, we have a double hit attack that hits for C-Power, Blunt, and Pierce. That's kinda good. And then she recovers the surviving allies' HP on each hit. Well, I said that the passive healing is around 180s, right? That's the same case here. She'll be recovering for around 360 by the use of Divine Tree on base. That is without considering Matriarch, Piano of Peace, or Itoken, or any other character that can buff love and charisma, like even Nawal's daughter. Well, this is good and bad on the same time. The good part is that we have a bigger heal when we are using. The bad part is that if you desperately need to heal again on the next turn, you won't be able to. You always have to cycle 2 turns, and even then it's not a perfect cycle. You use 8, you recover 1, and then you only got 7 VP, but you need to spend 8. That means that eventually you will have one turn where you won't have enough to cycle Divine Tree every 2 turns. Then if you are bringing characters like Nawal's Daughter or iToken that can buff BP passively, it will help, but over the course of battle, she may have one specific moment where she won't be able to use Divine Tree every 2 turns. A good thing is that her love is a good status, and you can compare that to a Spellgirl, as you can see 73, and Macha has 77. And she can trigger Divine Tree on the same turn, while also getting Macha Brilliance to trigger. So there may be times where she will heal 3 times, and depending on the formation and the characters that you are bringing, this can be very good. Like, if you are bringing Tortoise, I can say that the heal effect should be already buffed to around 240, so you will still get the free Tortoise healing. That means that on that specific turn you heal it for close to 1000 without the help of other love and charisma buffers. So nice, yes, but happens only 37% of the time on the turn that you use a Divine Tree. I'm just explaining that perfect scenarios. But Macha competes, like I said, with a Spellgirl. The Spellgirl does have some interesting utility. She can also heal with Healing Rod. She has the AoE heal with Telekinesis that actually does damage as well. It's even better because she cycles better her damage. She also buffs intelligence every turn. And she has that interesting shield that happens from time to time. Let's say you are on a turn where you don't need the AoE heal. You just skip, because you are maybe using Polka on the end of a turn to heal, and then what you're gonna do with your Spellgirl? A normal attack. And then, on the next turn, or any other turn, when you have a surplus of BP, you can cast Dimensional Aura. That will give a guard up, that only lasts for 1 turn, but also gives a Shadow and Hold shield. That means that in some situations you receive less damage and won't need to heal. This may give you more value than casting an AoE heal. That is kind of her difference. A Spellgirl can have this defense shield to survive better than just healing. We also have the Christmas version of Final Empress that just got released and many people will have. This version here has a lower love. The heal is a little inferior, but does not change too much. And this skill is always available on 2 BP. And you can use this Holy Moon AoE heal with the Global X style if you want, while adding Scrum Guard. The heal will be a little worse, but doesn't change too much. But there's one interesting thing. Final Empress, even with the Christmas style, men sometimes want to inherit the Christmas Moon attack to cast another shield. So you have a character that has Scrum Guard and a shield, and then you still have place for an AoE healer. That in the case can be either a Spellgirl or Macha, or also Miss Surfing, another candidate for compete, and she's not as offensive. As you can see here, she only has 10% damage reduction, although her endurance is bigger. She can cast an AoE heal all the time. And what I can tell you is that you will need 3 small healers. If you already have Christmas Empress, I suggest you to think maybe about 1 extra healer, just because you can choose to go full defensive with Empress and bring an extra healer for situations where you want her toys, or for situations where Polka or Mirza are not healing enough. Miss Surfing is actually even more of a comparison to Macha than the other healers, because she does have one interesting thing. While Macha can heal more by pass, she can heal more because of an inheritance. And that inheritance is Rain of Light. She will have 2 moments in the fight where she will be able to heal everyone to cap, from 0 to cap. Let's say you got in a moment where Polka could not heal enough and does not have enough PP to cast Steelblade Phoenix again. So Miss Surfing will cover. You can even trigger Overdrive, depending on the formation you are using. Recover everyone to max and save BP with Polka over the next turns. So, in my opinion, when considering only heal, both have interesting designs, and I cannot say which one is better, but I lean towards Miss Surfing because of the Rain of Life, but only if you do have that for inheritance. Macha will work as she is. The inheritances of Macha are offensive ones. They don't increase the utility of the character itself. But Macha will be able to heal more than all the other competitions, like even a Spell Girl, even also Christmas in Brass, because she has a chance to heal with the passive, and usually she will be able to cast Divine Tree every 2 turns, so this is a small win over the competition, but she still does less than Miss Surfing on the long run because of the Ring of Life. But like I said, you may only need Christmas and Brass and 1 more for the perfect builds for future content. Unless we are talking about dedicated events where you have to bring characters from some sort of series, Macha will just be useful, but all those events only give you 50 gems or 100, so that's not exactly a selling point. But Macha, with her passive chance to heal in formations that increases love and charisma, just has this as a trump. Now for inheritances of the S style, we have Fireball Plus, a 3BP spell, but does not do much damage, is not her selling point like I said. Crimson Flare, which she cannot use this on turn 1. Flame Hammer to debuff Intelligence, but we do have other options as well. Even Jo is a better Intelligence debuffer because she buffs her own Intelligence on start of turns. And from her UDX style, there are 3 different attacks, and the most interesting one in my opinion is Rock Stings, because this one is only 3 BP and has a chance to stun AoE targets. The tower is an interesting inheritance because it debuffs Intelligence, but you won't have enough BP to use this type of stuff. This is more useful on the UDX Macha itself, since this one is all about support and heals. Well, Macha will be a triple S style in the old tier list, but we are modulating the new one. It's kind of hard to say this, but in the new one she may land on an SS+, and all the very small healers may get demoted to that besides Christmas and Brass, because she still has more versatility, but she's still a good unit to have if you don't have any other very small healers, or if you don't have a Steel Blade Light user. She is the closest thing as you can get to replacement, but it's still pretty far, to all of them. And for extra info, there's another version of Macha in JP. This is kind of recent even. She has a skill number 1 that has a chance to give extra BP. The skill itself is free, so kind of nice. She has a full AoE attack where she buffs her own Intelligence before attacking, and Earth spell that just do damage. But the interesting part is that she gets 4 BP per turn. That means that she will always heal every 2 turns by inheritance. But she lacks the AoE chance to heal with passive, so it's a trade-off. The next character is Leonard, and we have 4 different styles of Leonard in the game. The S style is Platinum, then Got a Problem is Platinum 2, then Take This was a Christmas style, and now this is the Lion Dance. I guess we can compare him to the Christmas style. We have 16 more STR, lower endurance, because he's a farmer he does not use it anyway. His dexterity is both similar, agility is higher now, 99, since he wants to attack first. His intelligence is 80% because of 1 skill, and will is 71%, nothing too special. Love and charisma are bad. Well, this character here has 1 arrow for STR, double arrows for agility. You can find double arrows for STR in his Platinum style, so don't worry about the Christmas one. He does not depend on that. And, well, he only needs STR and agility since he's a farmer. And then, for passives, we have Strengthened Bravery 3. When HP is full, attack will increase by 15%, and he starts the fight with 13 BP. Well, relying on full HP means that he is a farmer again, and on boss fights this is not that good. Engage 4 on the start of a round gives him 50% damage for 1 turn. Yet again, another passive that is only made for farming. And the third one, Knockdown Energy Attack. On odd turns, that is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and he will get a heat up effect. This could be useful for long fights, but you see this breaks his design, and he gets this heat up that increases damage by 10% on each stack, reaching as much as 50% on turn 9. But like I said, you will hardly see Leonard on turn 9, you just get 10% increase in turn 1 and 10% again on turn 3 when you're farming Story, for example. So we have here 65 and then 75 on turn 1 and 85 on turn 3. You should think more about this when talking about Leonard. There's also an extra effect. When he kills a target, he recovers 3 BP. This is useful because of one of his rotations. Now, for skills, we have Horizontal Cut, a 3BP row attack with P-Power and 21 mod. That is actually the same as the one that we got with Noah on his Christmas style. Recently, even, we have here Horizontal Cut, just the same attack. Then the second one is Lion Dash, another row attack with slash and heat damage this time. Heat is nice, it was even added on global. And when the attack lands, he can inflict stun. His intelligence is mid-game, not that big. Will work well in very specific challenges or remembrance if we can stun, but that is Kazinsi only. But it's for farming, you should ignore stun most of the time. So, it's not a fast attack. He relies on his own agility, but works well on my shift fight formation anyway. And if he uses Lion Dash on turn 1 and he kills a target, he actually only spent 2 BP, because 8 minus 3 minus 3 again. This allows him to use Lion Dash 3 times in a row for farming. He is capable of solo farming, and because he carries 2 elements, this is actually pretty nice. He works kinda like Sparrow, but better for farming. Sparrow is also a row attacker with Izuna. This one has double S power too. It has 9 BP, and Sparrow relies more on status buffs to increase damage than full damage passives, and he can solo farm too, nicely, but I believe Sparrow is even more interesting because he actually works in some remembrance much better than Leonard. But again, it really depends on the stage having enemies aligned in a row, and this doesn't happen all the time. Not on story mode, not even on events, but when it does, he's gonna shine. The last attack is called Floating Juggernaut. For 16 BP you get a triple S slash full AoE attack that will easily clear most waves in the game. Those that are weak to slash and even some that are just neutral. Floating Juggernaut was seen in the recent welfare style of Princess Lion that I hope you got to level 50. And she clears waves with ease as well, and she starts with 13, can use this on turn 2 just like Leonard. But she has only 35% increase in damage, while Leonard will have at least 75, and he does have higher STR too, so the damage is even better. I believe it's kind of overkill. If you have Princess Lion, she is good enough for this on, well, Final Island, but if you do have both, you can kill the second wave with one and the third wave with the another. It will just make all 3 wave setups easier or increase your score on Final Island. But we do have plenty of AoE slash attacks in the game. This is just the strongest one. Now, for inheritance, we can go for his S style and inherit Will Swing and amplify to Will Swing Plus. This becomes an S power full AoE attack with 39 mod. Well, if you want damage on turn 1, this is your only chance, and Will Swing Plus is still pretty strong. From his Christmas style, you can inherit Flowing Feelings, and this attack is Blunt and Sun and cast Morale up and Guard up. It's actually not bad. I used it on raids in the past and on, well, 5-turn events. So you do more damage with this style, it is good to inherit. So in the end, I don't really like Leonard for 2 reasons. He seems to be trying to be 2 things on the same time. He wants to be a turn 1 attacker, then he has passive that increases damage over time. You need 5 turns to get this. You already lost one of your passives, so he's just a character that has a bad design in my opinion. Lion Dash is good, yeah, the skill is, but not the character itself. Floating Juggernaut is good, yes, but it's only turn 2 damage. It's even kinda of overkill. So there's not much utility for Leonard besides turn 2 damage in full row cycles where he can solo farm. So I do believe that even though he's strong, he's a very easy character to skip and will only receive a standard double S grade in our tier list. Last one is Balmaint, and we have 3 different styles for him. There is a Platinum, Royal Headsman, X for Executioner is Welfare, and now playing the Executioner is the Premium style that has much higher status, so we should not even compare. He has a focus on STR and agility. That makes him look like a farmer, yeah, he mostly is. But he also has good status for everything else. I believe that his dexterity is good, his will and endurance are average, and love and charisma are, well, unnecessary. He can get agility from his welfare style, and dexterity too. Now for passes, we have 4 style tree, STR. On the start of a round, he will increase his own action order by medium effect to guarantee that he goes before other people, and if you are using Amazon Raid X, for example, with him, he's gonna attack first for sure. And then it buffs his STR by 20%. Well, I don't really like this because the action order increase is kinda useless most of the time. You can kinda manipulate turn order by formation only. You don't really need this type of thing. And this is only on the start of a round. That means that you are clearing waves and then you reach a next round, you buff again. Okay, nice. What about boss fights? This is useless. By turn 2 you are already losing part of your buff, and after 4 turns you have 0, you lost the passive completely. Now the second passive is called Exit Arcana 4. When attacking with axes, he only has axes, increases damage by 20. And when landing weak attacks, he will increase damage by another 20. And he also has fired up 6 to increase damage by another 30. That means that he has 70 at all times and has this STR buff that goes before he attacks when farming. So actually 70% at all times is already kind of good. You can use him on Remembrance Battle for good damage, and he even has some good skills. But there's a conflict of direction, just like Leonard has, and that's why I don't like it. Now for skills, the first one is called Shopping Blast. For 3 BP you have a deep power attack with 10 mod and slash and blunt damage. That's good, he always has double element attacks. It will be useful when you are without PP or when on Remembrance fights where you want to just keep doing damage but not using your best attacks. Now the second attack is called Revolving Split. For 6 PP you have a column attack that deals slash and sun damage with a power. Well, a power column slash. We have seen this before, especially with Soji, that is extremely powerful and can use it by inheritance of his A style, Waterfall Blade Plus. But not just him, there are many characters that can use Waterfall Blade Plus, like the latest Empress. Christmas Empress actually does very good damage by inheritance from her Platinum style, as you can see here, but also Hector, also Katarina. There are plenty of characters now that can do column slash, but none of them do sun damage. So Balmaint is the only character right now capable of doing column attack with sun damage, but I don't know how important that is. It can help against Remembrance battles, especially against Deathmaster if you haven't done that yet, and also against the Real Queen. Then the last attack is called Golden Gale. For 10 BP you have a full AoE attack with Slash and Sun and B power. B but only 21 mod, pretty on the start. And then he will chase with Revolving Split, the second skill. So he opens with full AoE, chases with column. I don't really like this type of stuff. We have characters that have the perfect column chase, that is Aunus. He just attacks with column 2 times. So even though he opens with full AoE, you will want to use this when the enemies are aligned in a column, so that the chase will hit then all. So in long fights, you are better using Revolving Split many times than choosing Golden Gale ever, unless you are on overdrive or are about to kill, or when you are farming and you want to start big. Because we can compare the damage power here on our SaGa, and the second skill has 35 mod, while the second one has 21, so it's much better to keep using 6 BP instead of using 10, right? In farming scenarios, well, if he does not hit the column enemies with Golden Gale, he's just missing out. It's just B power, it's not that good, and then he'll be chasing with Slash and Blunt, that has different elements. It makes no sense, but well, we don't have that many axe users in the game, so that's why Balmaint may look interesting for Remembrance. Sadly, Balmaint doesn't have good inheritance. If you look on his A style, he has Vertical Smash Plus, you need to amplify, and you get a single target S power attack with a chance to debuff Endurance. Besides, nothing here is useful, so you are left with what you see. And he doesn't have any future style, so Balmaint is a strange character with a strange design and will only receive an SS- grade in our tier list. And it's perfectly and easily skippable. Even if you are looking for axe wielders for Remembrance battle, I don't suggest going for Balmaint. We have Ogniana on the other banner, there is also Darius and many others in the future, so hold on. Now back to the banner image. Is this banner worth summoning for? In my opinion, not that much. If you already have at least one character capable of healing the party with very small effect, those that can keep healing without spending MP, then okay, she receives a silver award. But if not, if you already have at least Christmas Empress that can keep the healings, or Christmas Empress and plus another one, then this banner receives only a bronze award, because even though Macha is nice, she's a very good character, the companions have problems in their designs to keep them being relevant in the future. So if they lose potential, that means that you are summoning for only one character in the long run, and that reduces the gen value of the banner itself. But if you are a fan of the characters, well, you can get some utility out of them. With all that said, this is my opinion. What do you think about this banner? Are you summoning for? If you are, good luck. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you still haven't. If you want to support the channel, there are links on the description of the video. And don't forget to join our Discord server. We talk about SaGa games and RPGs in general. Hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye.